It is 6:30 on October 15th, 2025, and this is the Board of Directors regular meeting for Trophy Club Municipal Utility District Number 1. We do have a quorum. We have Secretary Treasurer Harper on Zoom, and Vice President Rose is out of town. Do I need to read this video conferencing thing, Pam?
You're not required to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as I mentioned, we have a quorum, citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for the citizens to address the board on any matter, whether or not it is posted on the agenda. The board is not permitted to take action on or discuss any comments made to the board at this time concerning an item not listed on the agenda. The board will hear comments on specific agenda items prior to the board addressing those items. You may speak up to 4 minutes or the time limit determined by the president or presiding officer. To speak during this term, you must complete the speaker's form that includes the topics of your statement. There are the blue forms on the table back there. If you want to speak, please fill one out. Citizens' comments should be limited to the matters over which the board has authority. Do we have any citizens to speak?
No, sir.
Do you want to speak? Yep.
I probably have more questions than just speaking.
Okay, if you have a question, this is the time.
Quick question before you start. I was here last month and we talked
Right, I
about
remember.
water and all that. Do I need to fill out a form since I'm on the agenda?
Probably would fill one out for that agenda when we come to it, then we can answer your questions. And the citizens' comments, as I said last month, we can't address those at that time. Okay? Did you have a generic question or want to say something in citizens' comments or a specific agenda item?
It's just regarding the quality of the water.
Okay, that would probably be with his agenda, and,
Then I'm not alone.
okay, so,
I've got 20
You give
people
it to
who
me.
said, we're going to be here, we're going to be here.
Thank you.
okay, so we don't have any citizens for comments. We're going to move on to reports and updates. Number 1, monthly staff reports. A, monthly capital improvement projects. B, monthly operations reports. C, monthly finance reports. Quarterly tax collections, fourth quarter, and quarterly investment report, fourth quarter. Alan?
Good evening, directors. Some updates tonight. The annual wastewater system analysis is currently underway, and as of this week, the smoke testing has been complete of roughly 30,000 linear feet of pipe, and 112 manholes have been inspected. I think they had a few remaining to wrap up this week, but the majority of the smoke testing and manhole inspection is complete. Once they get, I think it's going to be another month and a half before their CCTV crews are in town working on that. But once that gets started, they will be in town working on that, still in the Village West area and in portions or near Seminole and Fresh Meadow.
Alan, if you've got a break in a wastewater pipe that's 8 feet down in the ground, when you run smoke, how in the world do you know where the break is?
So the glory of the smoke is that it finds the path of least resistance, and you typically try to do it during dry weather conditions.
They come up through the ground?
It'll come up through the ground, and then they can mark it. When we go back through the CCTV, they're looking specifically at those points to see what the break is.
Gotcha.
And it does work very effectively.
It does.
My neighbor had one that was leaking and stuff, and it's been there since the house was built. Just a resident emailed me about, what does that consist of? They're worried about, their water going off or something like that. In a short, like maybe 1 minute synopsis, can you explain what the process is?
Talking about smoke testing
Yes,
specifically?
yes.
So smoke testing is, for example, they find 2 manholes. They put a machine on one end of the manhole and they plug the other end of the manhole. They then use a machine that blows smoke produced by mineral oil, so it's non-toxic. Blows it into the pipe, and then as it's blowing it into the pipe, it will find the fissures, cracks, breaks, issues within the wastewater system.
Okay, most,
Simple as that.
and it will not go into the house and cause soot in the house or anything?
Unless there is most often when someone has smoke in their house, while they're doing that, it's from a dry P-trap or drain trap. And if you pour some water in the drain, it fixes that issue, unless they have something more major going on inside their house.
Will the people doing the test recognize that it's going inside?
Most often not, because typically when they're doing the smoke testing, you can see the smoke outside of, on the roofs of the homes. You can see the smoke emitting from those
vents.
stacks on your houses, but it's not getting inside the house because of those P-traps.
Can they send smoke signals while they're doing it?
Good.
Just wondering.
Yep, good question.
Thank you for the explanation. Okay.
You're welcome. Okay, the emergency connection, that is still in design. I actually spoke with the consulting engineer for the South Lake side today. They have had some delays on their side on the modeling, but as of today, they're hopeful they can get their modeling portion done by the end of November and get that sent to the district's consulting engineer to perform their modeling piece. I would expect conservatively to see that probably design completed April, May timeframe of next year.
Alan, do you envision that if either one of us ever needs to draw from the other, is it going to be our elevated tank to their tank right across the highway, the road on T.W. King?
Okay, so what this is going to do is provide a benefit only to the district. South Lake is understanding and aware of that. Because of operational constrictions and constraints and hydraulic differences in our systems, it doesn't provide a benefit to South Lake. They've acknowledged
It's a
that.
one-way flow.
It's a one-way feed.
Right, got it.
And essentially, they have an elevated, I think it's down off of Dove Road, that would feed that elevated tank on the east side of town.
Okay.
Good question. Okay, the wastewater line rehabilitation project, it's still in design. We do know that the surveyors have been out on site collecting the necessary data to begin the 30% design process for that. We expect that design to be completed sometime in the March timeframe of 2026. The FY 2025 water line replacement is progressing well. As of today, Alamosa Drive is substantially complete. They were wrapping up sod in driveway and yards today. They do have some concrete work that they have to go back and work on. Probably start working on that next week. Monterey Drive, the majority of the pipe bursting is complete on Monterey, and they've got to go back and make a few connections and install a fire hydrant before they start pressure testing that side of Monterey. Durango is on temporary water line as of today, actually yesterday. They're working on scheduling the installation of some critical Ts at Durango and Silver Rock and Rolling Rock. Is it Rolling Rock? Silverado and Rolling Rock next week. Actually, they're going to do that Friday. Once they get those installed, then they can begin the pressure testing of the temporary water line over there. So it is moving along well, not as fast as we would like to see, but they are progressing well. And yes,
And the residents are all satisfied with the temporary line that was installed?
I have heard no
running
complaints
over
of
it.
people being provided temporary service above ground. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
I have one for you.
Yes.
2 or 3 days ago, I was headed over to Lifetime Fitness Center, and one of our trucks was there at the fire hydrant, and water was just shooting everywhere. Was that a test, or was the hydrant busted, or what happened?
It may have been a flushing of the fire hydrant itself.
Okay.
And we do that over there,
We do that to every single one of our
the
hydrants.
hydrants? Okay.
Yes.
Because at one time, wasn't Westlake doing it? And a few years back, I thought they were doing the fire hydrants.
Not that I'm aware of. I think that they may perform the same types of annual flowing on their own fire hydrants, but not district fire hydrants.
Well, I figured it was something we were doing because our truck was there and our guy was there.
If it's coming directly out of the fire hydrant, they were probably doing some maintenance, or they may have been flushing or making some sort of repair.
Okay.
Any other questions?
You know, as on your report, I see that we still broke 1 billion gallons of water. pumped this year, actually $1,052,000,000, almost $53 million. When do we get the final letter from from Fort Worth Water regarding our final bill for the year?
We should see that next week.
Okay. Could you send me a copy or send the members of the board a copy of that? Okay. All right, and pretty much fill the water. You want to continue with your report then?
I've completed my portion of it, but I'm willing to answer any questions.
I want to go down to that delinquent tax report for
Which
2000.
page, Neil?
I'm scrolling down as fast as I can.
Well, he's looking at, for that, is the wastewater treatment plant still operating efficiently?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you'll go down to page 7, you can see the
I saw that.
wastewater treatment reports, and you can see the blue lines, which are your critical lines for your daily averages of flow. Everything is either non-detect or far meeting expectations and standards by TCEQ perspective. So yes, I can say that it's working efficiently.
Okay, I'm on page 25 of the report, Jim. And it's top tax due report, and I was just looking at 4 of the top 5 Estrada properties, starting at 1,000, 5,200, 5,500, and 64. I know they're different entities. Is there anything that you've heard of or why they're so delinquent in their taxes? Westlake,
Budget report.
No, you're on the right
there's
page.
Westlake LLC, there's Estrada Restaurant Partners LLC, Estrada Restaurant Partners again LLC, and farther down,
There's about 4 or 5 Entrada ones,
Correct. And it looks like,
more than that.
I don't know the specifics. Let's see, some of them show that there's some deferrals, and some of these could be in litigation. If you look at that top, it shows you that there's 2 properties in bankruptcy, 6 properties in deferral, 6 properties in litigation, 1 in partial pay, 17 in uncollectible, 4 in bad address, and 49 are action pending. So that could answer the majority of your question. We don't have the actual specifics from the tax attorney of what or why they are in the situation that they're in, but that summary at the top gives you the best data.
okay, well, I can see down here regarding deferrals, I know what that is, but for those ones, let's say the top 5 or 6, could you check with
Purdue.
with them and Purdue Brandon and find out if they're in litigation or bankruptcy, what's the issue there?
Yeah, we can look at that. Based off of the base tax remaining, that's $19,000 and $19,947 of base tax remaining. We can request that.
And one thing would be beneficial is if they could add, like, last action taken on here, because some of these obviously aren't never going to go away. But, you know, some of them, they could at least give us a last action taken was, you know, sent out notice or,
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Regina, but it takes a year and a half for some of these to drop off of the report entirely, and the deferrals are until the
Property is sold.
property sold. Okay.
yeah, the deferrals are self-explanatory, but some of them, there was some taxes on, you know, old tax reports. I think there was one that had a plane that was being taxed, and that thing was on
Personal
there,
property.
I don't know how long.
Are you talking about the top, how many did you say, Neil? The top 5?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Okay.
The bigger amounts, that's all, you know.
But Kevin, to answer your question, they'll stay on the report for 20 years. After 20 years, that's when they drop
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. I knew it was a long time, so they don't drop off after a year and a half or.
Yep, we'll request that.
And then
I'll send it out to the
we're
board.
keeping an eye on the deferrals, that when people move or pass on, that we get it, because in the past, we weren't doing that. And I don't know if the title company didn't catch it when they sold the house or whatever. What's the safety, you know, net on that, on catching, like when the house sells? And there's deferral of taxes due to us.
I do not track that. I can ask the tax attorneys if they do.
Yeah, we need to do that because I know there's a lot of people over 65 that defer their taxes. And when the house sells or they pass on, we don't ever get any money from them. If that's the case, I'm going to do mine.
One other thing, Alan, is, I saw there that the fire department had basically a surplus, about 179,000 unspent funds from the year ending September 30th. I know we have to wait for the true-up, but, it was, considering the budget for the fire department's about 2 million, that's basically 18% of their budget. And was it that material amount last year, Regina? Was that?
That I recall.
No?
No.
Okay.
But they still have some 930 expenses that are coming in
Oh, I
this
know.
month
Yeah, I know.
that will reduce that balance.
Okay.
That's why we typically wait for the audited numbers to come out.
Yeah, but we have, we don't get the true up until what, April or May?
April.
Typically April, May, yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else for Alan? Okay. We're going to move on to number 2, consider an act to approve the consent agenda September 17th, 2025, regular meeting minutes. Doug, this
Motion
is,
approved consent agenda, September 17, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
okay, we have a motion by Secretary Treasurer Harper.
I'll second.
We have a second by Director Toomey. Any questions on that or corrections? I see none. I can hear Bill talking in my ear. I know he has something. But, okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, show of hands. Okay.
Kevin, I'm abstaining only because I wasn't here. I did listen to the meeting later, but since I wasn't here, I'm going to abstain on that.
That's your choice. Okay, we have Director Thomas abstaining. Director, or Vice President Rose is not present. We have Director Harper, myself, and Director Toomey in favor. Got that, Lori?
Yep.
Okay. Moving on, regular session, item agenda number 3, discussion and possible action regarding water quality and hardness. Alan, you want to say what you have and then
Directors,
what?
let me start by saying, the residents came in last month and requested an item to discuss the hardness in the district's water. So just so we're all on the same page, we went ahead and took samples from all points of water supplies to the district system, one being the Fort Worth supply before it even gets to our tanks, and then we took 4 samples from each well on site. That way you could have some perspective of what the hardness at each location looks like. So just so we're also on the same page, you all were provided those samples and clarification for residents. Water hardness is categorized by the concentration of dissolved minerals, primarily calcium and magnesium, into levels like soft, moderately hard, hard, and very hard, using scales like parts per million, milligrams per liter, or grains per gallon. The hard water obviously causes scaling and mineral buildup in pipes and appliances, reduces soap and detergent efficiency, and leaves behind soap scum. That's the reason why you made a request to discuss. So in terms of our samples tonight, we're going to be talking in milligrams per liter or also parts per million. So if you look at the information provided to you, when the Fort Worth water sample came back at the hardness level is 105 milligrams per liter, okay? When you look at well number 1, it came back with 33.5 milligrams per liter. Well number 2 was non-detect or 0 milligrams per liter. Well number 3 showed 11.1 milligrams per liter. And well number 4 was also non-detect or 0 milligrams per liter.
Could
And
you mention what the normal range is? So,
well, it all depends on the water system. I can tell you this, Fort Worth Water's range on their CCR report shows a total hardness range of 76.5 to to 175 milligrams per liter of hardness within their system. Okay? And I've also been asked about South Lake. South Lake's mimics Fort Worth because they purchased their water 100% from Fort Worth. So on their CCR report, it also refers to 76.5 to 175.
They don't have any wells.
That's correct. That's correct. It's a 100% purchase.
And currently today, what percent of ours is coming from Fort Worth in total?
So on an annual average, 15% of water provided comes from wells. The other 85% is Fort Worth.
Okay.
Correct. So,
I apologize for keep up.
no, that's okay.
Is this going to go on our website? So
We can come up
these
with,
residents can look at it?
we can come up with something to try to help explain this.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the residents that are concerned about it, which I'm one of them, and, can look at these reports and see. And then my next question is, who's going to come by and clean my shower doors? So just saying. Because
Okay, so let me give some more perspective when we're talking about the hardness levels compared to the district. So if you look at the totality, the Fort Worth water hardness is 105 milligrams per liter, and the total of all district wells from the samples is 45 milligrams per liter. So if you take that 45 milligrams and assume 15% of that, and you assume 85% of the 105 milligrams because we blend both water sources, that ends up being close to about a 95 to 96 milligram per liter hardness based off of these results. Does that make sense?
But it varies depending on how much we pull out of the wells.
It varies depending on the amount of water supply from wells versus pumped. So I will say this, if we pump less well water 1 month, that hardness will likely go up because Fort Worth's water is harder than the district's well water. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
And Fort Worth pulls out of multiple sources, right?
correct. The multiple lakes, multiple
I've heard
reservoirs.
some of those lakes are a lot higher than the other ones in the hard.
Imagine so. And they also purchase water from Tarrant Regional Water District. Yes.
Now, a question for you. You're taking a shower and you've got soap all over you. Hard water washes the soap off quicker or less quick?
Quicker.
Because here in Trophy Club, I don't have an issue. I take a shower and it's just gone. I go to Lifetime Fitness and it is painful trying to wash the soap off.
The only thing that would explain that is Lifetime Fitness installed some sort of water softening process
Yeah.
for their facility.
I think some kind of
Because they
major-
purchase the same water that the district purchases from Fort Worth, and the pipeline that sends it to Westlake also sends it to the district.
Well, I'm just shocked at how long it takes to get it off of you.
Understood.
We have a couple of residents here. Do you have questions?
I do.
Come on up. Please state your name and address.
Randy Rutledge, 5 Jamie Court. In reference to what you were saying, and pardon the ignorance here, but do you all treat the water once you receive it?
We treat it for biological standards for TCEQ. So we make sure that it has a certain level of concentration of chlorine or chloramines to make sure that it meets water quality standards.
That's testing. Do you treat it?
We treat as necessary throughout to make sure that the levels of water quality meet standards by TCEQ in the distribution system. So it's chlorine or ammonia. It doesn't have anything to do with hardness.
Okay.
To answer your question.
Hardness is not my concern. The quality of the
Okay.
water is my
Okay.
concern. Have you changed that process? Have you changed the chemicals in the last 90 days used to
No.
treat the water? No.
Sir.
Because I've noticed a definite change in the quality of the water in the last 90 days.
How do you mean?
The taste, the smell, and I know bad water. I'm from Lubbock, so I know what bad water is. But it's certainly not the quality that it was 90 days ago.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's an issue with the plumbing in my house or it's an issue with the quality of the water that you're putting out.
We do random samples, don't we, Mike, throughout the community?
We do.
Yeah, how often is that?
We do them daily.
Daily?
Daily.
How hard would it be to go by his house and take a sample?
It would not be very difficult at all.
Would you be open for that?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, could we do that, please?
Okay, we hook up some way?
Yes.
They come early in the morning, though.
Not a problem, early is good.
He's got your contact information, so we'll reach out to you.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question from last week? Please, again, state your name and address, please.
David Garrity, 21 Monterey Drive.
Nice to see you again.
I was here a month ago, as some of you may remember. I'm not sure if everybody was here. And I thank you for the information. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of information that I wasn't aware of. And I just have a couple of thoughts. First of all, my wife has more allergies than Carter's got pills. Maiden name was Carter, actually. In the summertime, I buy 5 gallons of Ozarka water from Tom Thumb a week because she drinks a lot of water. If she tries to drink the tap water, she can't. It'll make her sick. And that should have been the first clue. And as I mentioned last month, we have a refrigerator with a water filter in it, as most people do these days. And the filter's supposed to last 6 months. When we first moved in 2017 and put the refrigerator was brand new, might have lasted 4 or 5 months. And that's pretty good considering. The last filter I put in lasted 6 weeks. Before that, I sent the filter back to the company in California that manufactures it. It's a Hot Point KitchenAid filter. And I stated my case, and I said, there's something wrong with this filter. They sent me a new one, and I put it in a refrigerator 6 weeks later. And I started to say, gee, these filters are terrible. And then I got to thinking, maybe it's the water. So I went on, as I mentioned a month ago, and I'm sorry to repeat myself, something on the Trophy Club next door cafe, whatever it is, on Facebook. And I said, anybody else having this problem? And a bunch of people said, oh, absolutely. You know, it tastes terrible. We don't like to cook with it. We put in a whole house filtration system. Our shower doors, like yours, are a mess. You have to scrape them down and use steel wool, whatever. And so I just like to know what can be done about it, what's causing it, and what can be done about it. Does everybody here live in Trophy Club? Oh, better question. Does anybody here have a whole house filtration system in their homes?
The refrigerator filters, like you stated.
You don't have a whole house filtration system. I know a lot of people responded to my post on Facebook and said, we can't stand the water. We put in, $1,000 or $1,500 for a whole house water filtration system. I don't want to do that. I'm on Social Security. I'd rather not do it. I'd rather have water that we can cook with, shower with, drink, put on our plants, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just looking to find out your thoughts on why this is happening and what in the future can be done about it.
Again, Alan, I'm not.
I mean, at $50 a pop for a fridge, I didn't even replace it. I just, I'm not going to spend $50 every 6 weeks for a filter.
Every year, we're required to do a water analysis, CCR reported, and it goes out when, like April, May, or something like that?
It's July of every year we put out our consumer confidence report, correct.
Right.
Now, it doesn't typically have hardness measures on it, but we can also include that next year. Unfortunately, the predicament we're in is the majority of our water is purchased from Fort Worth, so the majority of the hardness is coming from the Fort Worth water supply based off of these results. So, directors, the only thing I can recommend is we can always turn the wells off and see if that makes any kind of significant impact. I don't know that it will do any good, but that's always an option. Other than that, I'm unaware of anything outside of some sort of large-scale treatment process addition to our pump station facility that would be extremely costly to remove hardness from the water.
Well,
Aren't our wells bringing the overall hardness down?
According to these samples, yes, it
Well,
seems
just
that
based
some
on
of them
the-
are. Yes, yes.
So if you shut the wells off, the hardness is going to go up.
That would be the assumption, but you don't really know unless you specifically did it. We could always do it to see what it does and how it reacts, but Your assumption is exactly what I came to the conclusion.
We spoke earlier about this, and we're coming to the period of the season where our water usage kind of drops. If people water when they're supposed to or don't water when they're supposed to. Is it possible to take some of those wells offline? And obviously, it's not going to change overnight. It still pulls water out of the tanks. So, and the tanks haven't been cleaned or exposed to any chemicals lately, have they?
Well, we've already performed the cleaning maintenance recommended. Most of everything that you see is the biological chemical
No,
treatment.
but in the last 90 days,
No.
nothing has
So
happened.
you would want to, I would say you'd want to shut the system down and give it a week or two's time to flush any kind of remaining residual out of the system. But we could always shut the wells down. We can come up with a sampling protocol and maybe pull some samples over a certain period of time to see what that hardness level looks like.
Well, I mean, his concerns are very high on the list as far as, the taste. I don't have any problem with the taste where I live, but in some instances, I'm not going to say it's never happened, but you can actually tell there's a different taste or odor to the water, and it lasts a few days and then it goes away again. So I don't know what's causing that, but it probably wouldn't hurt. I don't know. And I'm not opening the door for every resident to come in here and go, hey, do a sample of my house. These are 2 residents. We already are going to do his. Can we do his too? Is that possible?
We can go out and pull a sample
Again, I'm
at
not
his
opening
house.
the door and saying, okay, if you want a sample, come in here and Kevin will make it happen. That's not going to happen. These
I
two
think
people.
that would work, Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah, these 2 people are here. The taste is concerning. So,
Mr. Carr, you mentioned that you have a refrigerator with a water filter.
yeah.
How long does your filter last?
Mine lasts I'm the only one that lives there. And I used to drink a bunch of water till my cardio guy told me not to do it anymore.
Okay, so you don't use a lot of water.
I use it to drink it, every day I drink probably at least 8 glasses.
Which part of town do you actually live in?
I'm on Monterey Drive.
Village West.
Because I live fairly close to Kevin, and my wife drinks a ton of water.
Mine.
We have a filtration system, and she replaces it, and the last 2 have been in 6 months. We replaced it, and 6 months later, replaced it again.
Yeah.
And we have a device on the refrigerator
Comes on.
that tells you when it's time
Clogged
for you
up.
to replace it.
But that's done by time, not by volume.
Yes,
Because I don't even have a filter in mine, and last week it said replace the filter. So
I'm
that's
just saying,
done by.
she runs a lot of water through that machine.
Oh, we do too, yeah.
And
Well, I mean, and I think it's seasonal. In the summertime, I buy, as I said earlier, 5 gallons of Ozarka water from Tom Thumb a week.
see, we don't.
In the winter, when fall comes, I don't, because she can drink the tap water.
Well, Irma's, now she will use bottled water as well. I mean, she'll buy bottled water, but she runs that thing pretty heavy. And again, I live fairly close to Kevin, and all I'm saying is over here on the kind of the east side, I haven't experienced what you're experiencing. And we've been here 40 years.
Well, I think what we might entertain is basically, in a sense, a sort of experiment. The wintertime, starting pretty much in November, we're pumping less water. So if we were to shut down the wells for, let's say, a 3-month period,
See what happens.
and see what happens, see if that affects your water quality, taste of water quality, and then kind of revisit the issue come January. That gives us 3 months, and I know Alan can test for hardness, maybe on a monthly basis or whatever he sees fit, and we can review the results in January or so, and then we can see if it has any effect for you, and see if that can help. Because if everybody else is on Fort Worth Water, we're all getting the same water supply. The only difference here is the 15% of well water that we were able to pump.
Could it be the age of the pipes? I know you're replacing all the pipes on our street right
I
now,
was just going
which
to
is a
bring it
lot of
up.
fun.
You're on Monterey where the temporary lines are laid, right? You're on that part? Okay.
Correct, and typically.
Well, Monterey's a very short street.
Yeah.
Typically, you
Yeah,
would
it
see
goes
more
to
scaling buildup with
silver
metallic pipes, and those pipes are not metallic. And we actually have pulled those pipes out of the ground, and there is not hardly any scaling at all on those pipes.
Well, I appreciate it. I just wanted to bring this to the attention of the board.
Absolutely.
You
We
live by
appreciate it.
Disney and Hunter, Tracy Hunter, Brian? and
Door.
Next door?
Sure.
Okay.
So for a timing perspective, if we want to get 3 months, what I would like to do is we'll go out and we'll get a sample, either this week or next week, of the effluent water out of the tanks themselves. Then we'll shut the wells down, then we'll give it a full month. So I would say February would be a better time frame to bring those results back. That way I can get 3 full months of results.
Good.
Does that sound fair?
It sounds like it's something we should try anyways.
Okay, sure.
Thank you very much for doing it.
Absolutely.
Okay with you, Mike?
Hopefully that will resolve the problem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Have a good evening. You're gonna do a sample on his house too, right, on Monterey? Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll reach out to them.
Hey.
Okay. Moving on, agenda number 4, consider an act to approve the purchase and installation of
Thank you.
Landia, is that how you pronounce it, or Landia?
Yes.
A return pump from Smith Pump Company, Inc. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, Director, this is the request to replace an existing Wheelo return pump in MBR 6 with a Landia pump, including the installation. This return pump is being replaced as part of the planned replacement of all MBR return pumps. Pricing is provided utilizing by board cooperative contract and included as part of the FY26 budget. We went ahead and threw this on because of the long lead times. We would like to be able to get this in this fiscal year budget.
Doug, this is where you come in, I think.
Sure. Motion to approve purchase of the Alandia return pump from Smith Pump Company, Inc. in the amount of not to exceed $51,315 through by board contract number 770-25 as part of the FY 2026 budget, and authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion by Secretary Treasurer Harper and a second by Director Thomas. Any further discussion on this? I see none. Show of hands. Okay, unanimous with Vice President Rose being absent. Okay, next is consider an act to designate a voting member representative for the American Water Board of Directors, AWBD, on behalf of the District Board of Directors on clarification to 4 existing bylaws and direct legal counsel to submit the voting representatives to AWBD. Jim?
Yeah, I had, when this first came out, I submitted a request to Kevin and Alan saying that if the other board members don't have any objections, I'd like to volunteer for that position. It's only one person per district can vote. And I'm not that far removed from having been down there, and I still know most of the people pretty well. As a matter of fact, I was invited this last time to go down and participate in the party that they have ahead of time, and it's just something I feel like I'm very qualified to do right now.
Yeah, the only other person that I know that was involved in the board for a number of years is Director Toomey's. You don't have any problem with that, do you?
No, no.
Yeah, I don't either.
The next annual meeting they have will be here in the DFW area next summer, so that'll work out fine.
Do you want, is there any way we could just designate it for until May in case something else comes up, so you don't have to keep coming back, or is that possible?
Yeah, because this particular thing is, and they haven't shared it yet, but they are changing some of the ways in which they operate. And they want approval from the mud districts in the state to do that. So until we see what's in writing, hard to say. But yeah, I think, Kevin, that's a good idea because they could come back with another one right after this.
Is that okay, Pam?
Sure is, yes.
Okay, so you want to make a motion, Jim? Doug, you don't have any problem with that, do you?
No, sir. I think it's great.
You want to make a motion that you be designated as the voting representative for AWBD?
With the board's approval, I'd make a motion that I be selected to represent the Mud One Board of Directors on behalf of the district, voting on upcoming clarifications on existing bylaws from AWBD.
And any others until May, just say May 4th, May
Till May,
1st
right.
of 2026. Is that okay?
I
Everybody?
second.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Thomas, second by Director Toomey. Any questions on that? Doug, you got anything?
No, sir.
Okay. All in favor, show of hands? Okay, unanimous with,
The one thing I don't know is, Alan, do
Hold
you
on
all
a
have to
second.
let them know that I am the voting representative for us?
Yes, Pam.
I'll
will.
do that, Jim.
yeah, it was,
Yes, I'm sorry, Pam, I remember
Okay.
they said the attorney from the district needs to do it, right.
the vote was unanimous with Vice President Rose being absent. Okay, next, receive update from Director Thomas regarding parks and recreation opportunities. That's agenda number 6.
Yeah, this is, the work that the town has been doing is culminating fairly quickly with information that we'll be able to bring forward, particularly in the next meeting. There's going to be a meeting this coming Monday night at 6 o'clock at the town hall, and I've been invited and will attend. It's going to be a presentation from Park Hill Consultants and Chase Ellis to the park board as well as the town council. They're going to be covering specifically the short-term desires, which is going to be the 2 or 3 things they want to get committed to in the next 1 to 5 years. And then they also are going to discuss their long-term capital improvement plan. Well, actually, it's actually called the Park and Rec Master Plan. And they're anticipating that will be adopted by the town in December. And then they also anticipate that a new lease agreement for the building back here will be presented to us for approval in the January, February timeframe. And Monday night, I'll have a lot of information because I'm allowed to sit there and take notes and ask questions. And so, we'll know a lot more. But Chase did indicate to me that they do have 2, possibly 3 things that they really want to address in the next 5 years. And he did say that the town does have some uncommitted bond funds that they might be able to apply to some of these. And they are very aware that if some of the things they wish to do fall into the criteria of things that the MUD can participate in, and that the board approves ahead of time, then possibly, we would help them. But they fully understand that the board has to approve anything before, we're committed to anything. I'm not there Monday night as a representative of the board. I'm there to take notes.
Okay, I was just going to caution you about that is, the words, but you can speak as a resident as far as which way you want. With that.
I've made it very clear that I do not, that I cannot speak for the board.
Yeah, with that, Alan, myself, and Jim attended the anniversary luncheon or gathering that they had at the activity center that's operating at an annex now. Chase mentioned some things along the same lines as you as far as getting an architect to come in and look and see what they can do as far as redesigning it. My personal opinion on that, it's great for the activities that that Connie and Marion are doing, and they're doing a fabulous job down there bringing services and to the community. But he mentioned that, we can, see about having it in place of the summer camp for the kids. And they had over 150 prior to losing the schools because they went up in price to $80,000, and we let them use that. And at that time, it was, if I'm getting off track, tell me. just throw something at me, okay?
I think you're still on topic.
Okay. So at the time, it was going to be a temporary fix. Is that what you understood, Ellen? And Neil, you weren't around, but that's, Doug, you were here. I understood it to be a temporary fix, and they were going to go down to 60 people max. Now it sounds like they're talking about that, making it a full-time thing. I don't, as a resident, again, I don't think that's the best thing, because a community center or rec center was always at the top of the polls when they did it, dating back to when I was on a project 2000 or something years ago. There's land, we have 5 acres, I believe, down by the treatment plant, and I'd be open to discuss that. There's land down by the park, by the pool, behind the pool area there. They want to spend all this money on a water project, and, water projects don't, do too good. Hawaiian Falls just sold out to another operating because of the activity is very short window. There's that parking lot in front of the town hall there. They could build some sort of building on, but I think to do this community justice, to try and transfer that into the replacement of a gymnasium by a school, it's not going to happen down there. So I think, we can talk and they can present plans, but as a activity center that it is now for the ladies group, it works great. But to have kids in there and then lose the activity center for 10 weeks during the summer, we really need to look at that. Again, this is all premature. I'm sure they'll bring plans, but that's my 2 cents worth.
And listen, what Chase said in the meeting that Kevin and I were in is that it is their intent to bring in an architect and look at restructuring the building. It was designed as offices, and so if you're going to try to turn it into a more open area, you've got to really be concerned about support walls. But it is the town's intent to be bringing in an architect to study it, to see what it would take physically and cost to rework that building. The other thing that he kind of dropped out, and I don't know if it's on their list or if it's something that's just wishful, but he said that in the future, possibly, they might like to talk to us about adding a half gym building attached to that building. And so that we'll see what happens Monday night. Now, Monday night is supposed to be a very detailed 5-year plan, for the Parks and Rec Board to approve. And so we'll see what comes out Monday night.
Another important factor is that's district property, district building. The district also includes Westlake residents. So we need to keep that door, be aware that our district goes outside Trophy Club. So are they going to be able to participate in that, whatever they put together? I don't know. But just that's,
Question.
that's something else. Okay. I'm done. I think I beat that one down pretty good.
But Kevin, I would say, if we can keep it on the agenda for next month, I think I'll have a lot.
Yeah, if
of
you could bring an
information.
update on that, and then also clarification on what the AWBD is changing to, so we're all aware of that, I'd appreciate it.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Present an update on AWBD changes, what you'll be voting on.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Okay. You have anything else, Doug?
Yes, I do. I've been requested by a city council member to see if we couldn't somehow figure a way to get a water fountain in Trophy Club Park at some point. It doesn't have to be this year or next year, but is that in the plan, Mr. Thomas? To get a water facility, water at the Trophy Club Park. Right now, they have a Johnny on the job, right, for a latrine. They do have a permanent storage shed area, but there are no water fountains there.
They have them at Harmony Park.
Yeah.
I don't know about Indy Park.
Yeah, there's nothing. And I talked to Alan about it, and it's roughly, I think it's just under a mile. You'd have to run a water line for a mile to put it where the outhouse is right now. So I don't know how that would work. Unsupervised, you've got a water fountain out there. Who knows what could happen to it? Be left on and just run water. They
They even have a water fountain at the dog park.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Not the
okay.
Trophy Club Park. And so that was the request.
Why don't you mention that, Jim? Say that, yeah, one of my directors, you can mention, Doug, wants a water fountain.
Sure.
Okay, anything else? You have
No.
anything, Neil? You want a water fountain too? Over there?
No.
Okay. Okay, 7, discussion regarding facility use agreement with the town of Trophy Club. I brought this up just to let all the directors know that the agreement expires in December, is that right, Alan?
December 31st.
And from what I hear, they're going to bring something to us next meeting, maybe?
I have not seen a request yet. My understanding with that facility is that their first plan is to present the master plan findings to the park board and the town council in October. Assuming the town council approves the recommended plans for improvements, once they get that completed, then they will likely reach back out to the district to discuss a long-term facility use agreement approach and any kind of recommendations for improvements that they would like to work with the district on for that facility.
Chase specifically said that they hope to have an agreement to present to us in January.
That's also what town staff has
That's after
told.
the agreement expires. You know, these things are
December.
proactive, you know.
Well, there is, I believe
proactive.
the facility use agreement has a parameter in there that unless 30 days notification of intent to not renew is provided, there's another year's worth of summer activities provided in the document, if I remember correctly. So unless it's completely abandoned between then, I would assume that the district board would be open to allowing that. But again, their intent is to bring back a document to the board for consideration.
Pam, can you look at that document and make sure it doesn't automatically renew?
Yes.
And if it does say that language, we probably need to notify them that, you know, at this time, to let them know that the current agreement expires whenever it expires. So it doesn't automatically renew without the changes.
Right. I'll be glad to.
Thank you. Does everybody agree with that? Doug?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's great they're making good use of it.
Yeah. I mean, because there has to be changes in there. One of the major ones is break out the water and the utility billing. You know, they need to have their own meter on there. Okay, executive session is Agenda 8. Pursuant to Section 551.001, the board will convene into executive session for the following purposes. A, pursuant to Section 551.071, to consult with its attorney on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Open Meetings Act, or to seek advice of counsel on legal matters involving pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offers on the following matters: transfer of district assets. B, pursuant to 551.076 of Texas Government Code, to deliberate, I can't talk tonight, to deliberate regarding the deployment of security devices on district-owned properties. And we will go into executive session at, I'll call it 7:24. Okay, it is 7:52, and we're back into regular session. We'll go to number 9, consider and take appropriate action regarding items discussed in executive session, which is A, to transfer of district assets. Do I have any action on that? Anyone want to make a motion? I hear none, so no action on A. B, security devices on district-owned properties. Anyone want to take any action or motions on that? I see none, so no action on 8A and B of the executive session. And that is number 9, no action. Okay, future agenda items. Board members may provide request for discussion items for a future agenda in accordance with the board's approved bylaws. No further discussion will be held related to topics proposed until they are posted on a future agenda in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act. And the next meeting is slated for November 19th. Is that correct? Anyone have anything to put on that agenda?
Yeah, I'd like to give you an update on the town's meeting associated with where they're headed with Parks and Recs.
That's fine.
Yeah, I believe my notes from the earlier discussion was two things. Update from Jim Thomas regarding parks plans and potential collaboration with the town. And another one was an update from Jim Thomas regarding the AWBD change to bylaws.
And Pam, along the grounds of that second one, what is the time frame that you're going to alert WBD that I'm the voting representative?
I'll do it this week.
So that I can reach out to them to find out, what the schedule is?
Yes.
Okay.
Neil, do you have anything?
Nope.
Doug? Got anything for a future agenda? Doug, can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us.
That happened to me.
Well, I think that they may be muted. The meeting may be muted.
He's saying he can't hear.
Yeah.
Can't hear us?
Doug, you got to mute. It says muted down there. Click. There you go. Can you hear us now? Okay. You
Yes.
have anything for future agendas?
No, sir.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, moving on. 11, next regular meeting is November 19th, 2025. You okay with that, Doug?
Yes, sir.
Jim? Going to be out of the country or
Who
space
knows?
shuttle or,
All things are possible.
I'm all set.
you good? I'm good.
Maybe Mr. Rose will show up.
Yeah, I'm good. And, okay. The Board of Director reserves the rights to adjourn. I think I'm going to opt for that right. And so we will adjourn. It is
Very good.
7:56.